Hey there, friends. Welcome to a lesson with Artsy Rose. And today we are going to be creating two hands interlocked together to make a heart. Why not, right? Let's spread the love. Okay, so honestly, the best way to do this project is obviously going to be with a pencil, because if I were to use a marker to trace the hands, then I would definitely have marker lines all around the side of my hands. So you'll want a pencil, and then really you can use whatever items that you have to color with. Preferably what you can use to match the skin colors as best as possible. So I am going to go ahead and work on my hands. Now, you are going to want to help your kiddos with this process because it is really hard for them to trace their own hands. Notice that my thumb is curled up a little bit and my fingers are together. You could spread your fingers if you want to, but if you have a massive hand like mine, it may not fit if you spread your fingers. So just a thought, or you know, it's up to you, whatever feels comfortable. If you have little ones with little hands, then they are going to have an easier time fitting their hand on there. Okay, then we're going to use our other hand and really work that heartish shape. There we go. And trace as best as we can. Like I said, it's pretty tricky. Just try your best. I'll do this one with the fingers separate a little bit so you can see the difference. Now, while we're working on this is a great opportunity to talk to your kids about diversity and how we are all made different and special and unique. And because of that, we all have different skin colors. And that's just how we're created, right? None of us are exactly the same. And honestly, our skin colors tell us about our culture and our history and our heritage, but it doesn't tell us about what's on the inside. It doesn't tell us about the heart, right? And so this is a great lesson to be able to talk to your kids about looking past skin color and seeing somebody for their heart, for their kindness, for their mind, for their soul, and really getting to know them based off of all of those things. So as I color this today, to remind myself, you know, that we always want to look right past the skin color and we want to accept the diversity. And diversity is definitely what makes America so special, because we are definitely a melting pot, and we are all very different and diverse from each other. Now, of course, you could get like real technical and make these look more realistic, adding the lines and the wrinkles, especially my old hands, right? The lines and the wrinkles that are in our fingers, or we can keep it super simple. It's all based off of your kid's age. But notice in here we now have our special heart, right? One of my hands looks massively bigger than the other. You could even have fun. The girls especially would love adding some fingernails in there. I guarantee you some of them are even going to want to make their fingernails longer than what their fingertips are, right? They're going to want to give themselves some nice long nails. And that's okay. That's fun. That is totally fun. Now these two were kind of turned a little bit, so we don't see all of those nails. Okay. Now again, you want to think about what colors of, or what supplies do you have where you can show some different skin colors, okay? So I'm going to attempt with oil pastels. I will say I love oil pastels, and I use white so much for blending that that's how big my white is, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use, I don't have a creamy color in here, so very, very softly I am going to color very softly with my brown because I want to turn this into kind of a creamy color. Okay, so super duper 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 soft. And we'll get this all filled in. And we'll even add some, here we go. We'll even add like some wrinkles in there. If you want to, I'll kind of show you how to do that here in just a minute. Oh my goodness, it's really hard with a dark color to go softly. But I am trying my very best to just barely lay this color on here. And I'm going to try a little bit of pink, just a smidge in here, just a smidge of pink. Myself has been inside so much that my skin right now is pretty pale, but I have some Native American in me, and so when I get out in the sun quite a bit, I do brown up my skin some. Although that's even changed some since I had my daughter. Something changed when I had her, and I don't tan near as easy as I used to. Okay, so this is really, really soft with the brown, really, really soft with the pink, and then now I'm going to use my white, and this time I'm going to have to use some muscle. And I don't want to color in the same exact lines. I don't know if you noticed how I tried to color up and down and up and down. I don't want to do that this time because I want to make these lines that are up and down now blend together this way. So instead, I'm going to kind of just sort of work left and right this time in a sort of curved motion, just like this, in order to kind of, and you could even maybe make like circles. Oh yeah, that works good. That works really good to blend. So we are just going to circle, 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 circle all over this thing. There we go. And we'll just work on getting this all filled in. One thing that I've noticed about kids that I just absolutely love is I think that they notice skin color, but it doesn't affect them. At least not my students. My school is pretty diverse where I teach full-time. And so, at least not with my students. And so they all, they just love each other or hate each other sometimes even, but they just love each other and it doesn't really even faze them. Not until they get a little bit older, like maybe 5th grade, they start kind of noticing, but for the most part, I love it about the younger generation is they are all just so accepting and so loving of one another. And it just really, really makes my heart happy to know that they're all friends with each other and they like each other just the same as sometimes they dislike each other the next day. And it has nothing to do with skin color. It's more like, he looked at me funny, he called me a name. And so then again, there's more teaching opportunities right there, right? For, talking about acceptance and how to use our words to express ourselves and to make ourselves feel better and to stand up for ourselves with our words. So here's one skin tone. Now, before we move on, when I'm looking at my hands, I notice that I've got, like right there on my thumbs, kind of some some curved lines, some little wrinkles. Not so much on my knuckles right in here, but on my first set of knuckles and my second set of knuckles. This one for sure, we've got a straight and then a curve. Straight, and it's like a frowny and a smile. Straight, frowny and smile. Straight, frowny and smile. And then a couple little lines in there. And then, I mean, I guess if we wanted to, we could kind of show that we got a little knuckle going on there. But adding just those few little lines really, really, really brings out a little bit of realism, right? Okay, then for my other hand, I want you guys to talk to your kiddos about maybe a good friend they have, and talk to them about all their friends they have, and talk to them about why they like their friend, and what their friend does to make them feel good. And then in the conversation, maybe talk about, well, what does their skin color look like? And then talk about how that didn't even come up until you asked, because it doesn't matter to them. What matters to them is that their friend treats them kindly and listens to them and loves them and cares about them. And so, again, just things that we can reinforce with our kids through art to make them kind of see life and to think about life maybe a little bit differently is always a good opportunity. I've always found that I can sneak some real conversation in whenever I sit down with the kiddo and I help them with their projects. And so you can kind of sneak those life lessons in on them and they don't even notice. So I like that. Okay, so this time I am filling it in a little bit darker, just like that. And I'm going to get out my handy dandy white, and I have to peel it again. It's getting so small. Just peel off a little bit of wrapper. I always try to leave some wrapper though, so I have something to hold on to without just totally crummying up my hands. I need to go over just a little bit darker. There we go. There we go. This all smoothed in. I'm trying to keep all my coloring lines going the same direction. I don't like to go like everywhere with it. Just keep them all going the same direction. Just like that. Now, this time I'm not going to push quite so hard with the white. But what I'm doing by putting the white on top is sometimes it's hard to fill in the space on the paper with oil pastel and not see any white spots unless you like color with every ounce of muscle you have. So by going back over it with the white, it's going to kind of smooth like all those coloring lines in together, kind of smooths it all in. There we go. And again, we're just kind of getting it all filled in. Maybe the swirls. I think I like the swirls better than coloring all the same direction. I'm just like shaking my whole table over here. I don't know how obvious that is. There we go. So if you guys are like really enjoying these lessons, I want to tell you that we do have 2 online virtual courses, and they're a little different than what I'm teaching now, just because I wanted to mix it up a little bit and I wanted to offer something a little different. But another thing that's cool about them is that they're are some quizzes, so you can give your kiddos a quiz throughout. You know, there's a couple of them during the whole course, and so kind of reinforces their knowledge. And then I've also included some fun factual information about what the lesson is. So for example, if the lesson is about, I'm trying to think about one of them, color mixing, and it teaches them how to mix their primaries and their secondaries, and how to make tertiaries. Then also included in that is some color wheel tables and some color mixing tables to teach them, so they have a visual display. So not only will they have my verbal, they'll also have my demo video, but then they'll have a visual display of what those color tables look like. Okay, so I tried to enhance them. I tried to take them up a notch, and I try to make them more informative than what just these are, because these are just for fun, right? And the courses are just for fun too, but I want to sneak some knowledge in on them while they're having fun as well. So I feel like I've accomplished that in my online courses. So you guys can always go to my website, artsyrose.com, and then click on the shops page, or actually the online classes page too, I think. And you can get some details about my virtual courses that you can purchase. And then the coolest thing is, at the end of it, you can, once they finish it, you can print them a completion certificate. So they're going to feel pretty cool that they made it through the course, they took the quizzes, they learned all the extra knowledge, and then they got a certificate at the end of it. So it's just kind of fun. Okay, so now let's talk about this heart in here. And so we've got this awesome heart going on inside where our thumbs brought it together. There we go. And then if I wanted to, I could do like a heart inside of a heart. So I'm kind of using some muscle right here. Heart inside of a heart. Then I could use my pink and start coloring this in. There we go. And get this all colored in. And I also, while I was doing all that jibber jabbering a second ago, I did add all the little grooves on the fingers, just like I did on this hand. I put them on that hand. They are a little trickier to see. I will show you, I promise. And then you guys got to decide, are these girl hands? Are these boy hands? Are the nails going to be painted? Are they not going to be painted? If they're not going to be painted, you might have them do them, oh, I don't know, like a, golly. My nails are always painted. I forgot what they look like when they're not. Anyway, have them kind of do nail color, you know, real neutral, kind of creamy color for their nails. Okay, so by putting the pink on top, it has blended them a little bit. So I'm going to go back with my red and bring that back out. Just like that. Okay, and then, I mean, you can even have fun with some other colors in there too. So let's say I wanted to make my nails all painted. Maybe my nails are, I don't know, bright red. Again, you can have fun with this. I guess your nails really aren't as white as your whole finger, but that's okay. And then maybe my friend's nails are pink. We'll stick with the pink and the red like on the heart. Okay. And then they've got to decide what's going on in this background. You know? I think it would be fun just to make like a colorful background. Like we could do some purple. And I know it looks like I'm scribbling, but I'm really not. I'm using some muscle and I'm going back and forth, back and forth. Remember, this is all about the process. You guys already know, but you gotta trust me. Back and forth, back and forth. Here we go. Okay, so we just sort of put one color on, and then we can add in another, like I could put in some darker purple. And so I'm blending some of this in, and I'm using a decent amount of muscle right now. I'm really kind of working this, working it. We can even overlap some of the regular purple on top of the magenta. And just tell it, you know, you gotta tell your kids when they're working on their background, they cannot go cray-cray or they will wind up coloring on top of their hands or their heart, and they already worked so hard on that and they don't want to ruin it just because they maybe like get tired of working on this. So if you see that your kids are starting to get a little bit tired, have them take a break, go get a drink of water, maybe have them, you know, I don't know. I would say do some Go Noodles. I always do Go Noodles with my kids at school. When I see them start to kind of lose some interest in their project, we'll get up, we'll move around, and then we'll come back to it. So just get them up, move them around, and then bring them back to it, even if it's, you know, later the day, that same day or the next day. But they're going to be way more proud of themselves if they take a break instead of just trying to scribble through. Now, of course, if they're taking their time and doing a good job, then there's really no need for a break. Otherwise, they might just lose their focus, right? Okay. There we go. Whoop. All right. We're getting all of this filled in. And again, you're gonna really get a workout when if you choose to use pastels, because OMG, you gotta kind of use your muscles. And then trying to go the same direction, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Whoop. Oh my. Oh my. There we go. Okay. Then I even have one more step darker, blue violet. So you could even put one more step darker in there in some spots if you wanted to. And that's kind of fun. Although it doesn't look too much darker, I guess because I'm not like using every ounce of muscle I have. There we go. There we go. Okay. Perfect. I love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this, my friends, is a beautiful example of unity and loving your neighbor and your friends for who they are on the inside. It's all about our heart and showing kindness and being the best that we can be, right? So you guys have a super awesome, lovely week. Thank you for tuning in with me. And of course, please do all that social media awesomeness stuff like subscribing, liking, sharing, all of that fun stuff. And we would love to see your art. Tag us in your social media post, or maybe attach a picture in the comments, right? So have a super great week, and I cannot wait to do some more art with you.